Hi all, this is video lecture series video number 2. We are going to see about, we in previous video see about what is meant by DDoS attack, and in this video we are going to see the aim of DDoS attack. The common reason for DDoS attack was one expression of anger, second was criticism, a third is training ground for other attacks, distraction for malicious actions, anti-competition business practices, means to extract money, to disrupt operation of private or government enterprises. The common reason of DDoS attack involve expression of anger or criticism, a training ground for other attacks, distraction from other malicious actions, anti-competitive business practices, means to extract money, to disrupt operate of private or government enterprises. There's a types of DDoS attacks are there. Broadly we have three types of DDoS attack. First is network or volume centric attack. That's nearly 64% of attacks is done by network or volume centric attack. Next is a protocol attack. The protocol attack consists of 20%. Next is application layer attack. The application layer consists of 16%. Network or volume centric. These attacks use bots or botnet to flood the network with a substantial amount of seemingly legitimate traffic. These attacks use bots and botnets to flood the network layers with substantial amount of seeming legitimate traffic. This consumes an excess amount of bandwidth within or outside of the network. The network or volume centric attack. These networks attacks use bots or botnets to flood network layers with substantial amount of seeming legitimate traffic. This consumes an excessive amount of bandwidth within or outside of the network, causes network operations to become either slow or network. The network or volume centric. These attacks use bots or botnets to flood the network layers with a substantial amount of seeming legitimate traffic. This consumes an excessive amount of bandwidth within or outside of the network and cause network operation to become extremely slow or not to work at all. A network or volume centric. These kinds of attacks are more difficult to mitigate than attacks from a single source. The volumetric attacks comes to variety forming include user datagram protocol, ICMP Internet Connection Message Protocol. That is the network or volume centric. These kinds of attacks are modified or more difficult to mitigate attacks from a single source. The volumetric attacks comes in variety of forms including user datagram protocol, that is UDP flux, and ICMP, that is Internet Control Message Protocol. So this is a more difficult to mitigate attacks from a single source. Next, UDP flux. Random ports on a server are flooded with UDP packets and causing the server to repeatedly check for and respond to non-existent application at the ports. Non-exist application at the ports. As a result, the system is unable to respond to legitimate applications. Random ports on server are flooded with UDP packets, causing the server to repeatedly check for and respond to non-existent application at the ports. As a result, the system is unable to respond to legitimate application. This is called as UDP floods. Next, ICMP floods. This ICMP floods, a server is flooded with ICMP echo requests from multiple spoofed IP addresses. That is, a server is flooded with ICMP echo with requests from multiple spoofed IP addresses. As a targeted server processes and replace to the phony requests. The server is flooded with ICMP requests from multiple spoof IP addresses. ICMP floods. A server is flooded with ICMP echo requests from multiple spoof IP addresses. As a targeted server process and replace to these phony requests, and it is eventually overloaded and unable to process and valid ICMP echo requests. As a target server process and replace to this telephone, it is actually eventually overloaded and unable to process with valid ICMP echo requests. This application layer attack. The application layer attack consisting of the goal of this application layer attack is to exhaust resources by consuming too much. These targets the layer manage HTTP and SNTP communications. They target web application packets in order to distribute the transmission of data between the hosts. They attack an Apache Windows web server as they were more vulnerable. application layer attack. These application layer. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.